There was a practice I used to do every single morning that felt boring. I would write 5 things that I am grateful for the day before, and then 10 things that I want to make happen in my life. And one of the things that I kept writing, and at the time, I did not believe this, was I was the preferred interpreter. So back then, I kind of like, I think I was like newly qualified at the time, and I was coming from a place of scarcity. I was coming from a place of like, I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get work to like sustain myself and like all these things. So if I can just have some preferred people that I can work with regularly, it would be like an escape thing. So it was more kind of like I was coming from that lane, but now there is abundance, there's enough work, there's not as we're told. But then I was thinking differently. And and I honestly, when I was writing this thing down, it was one of those like, no, no, really? Seriously, you think you can be a preferred interpreter? You think you can just be getting regular job like this? Like how? As I'm like sometimes writing it and stuff like that. And it was just like one of those things like, I'll just keep writing every single day. And then, and it's like, it's one of those kind of like, hmm. And then, okay, let's just do this thing and go. And then I'll go do live. Life's life in and just stuff like that. And yeah, we just keep writing every single day and then showing up and doing our thing and doing all these things like as things are moving on. And I'll go and do jobs and here, there, whatever. And then one day, I just finished the booking. And so sometimes some bookings it could be like a one-off thing. And sometimes it's like, okay, we need to have a follow-up or we need to have like consecutive, did I say that word right? Bookings. And it was one of those ones where it's going to have to be like, I think for like 12 weeks or so, they'll be meeting regularly. And it was finished and like, okay, it's now time to reschedule. And now it wasn't a case of me fitting around them. They wanted to fit themselves around me. What? Like they gave me some dates, it didn't work out. So I was thinking, oh, it's fine, no attachment here and all that. And then his case, the next thing, the clinician was like, so when are you available? And then we can see match up with yours. I just had a moment in that time when she said that. Like, I've been writing this thing for months. I've been doing the do it. And then now she's like, when am I available? Like, it was truly a moment of like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't even know when they started like showing up for me. Like, how I used to like think like, oh my goodness, like, really, like who want to work with me? Like, I'm not even sure if I can understand what they're saying or sign in. Like, and then they want to pick me back, like thinking that way to now someone saying, babe, when you free was, yeah, it was a thing of like how far I have come to the point where what I have been writing consistently or mundanely, like, a routine kind of almost felt some, back then. It's a whole different story right now. That now is like, yeah, let's go. And it was like, when did this, how? And it was just that kind of like, wow, feeling of, I wrote this thing down. I didn't believe it. And now it's in my face. It's like, it's here saying, yeah. let's go. And then it's like, and that's how it went to like the whole thing finished with that one. And even a situation where I would go and do a booking and be like, oh yeah, we requested for someone else. You just see the angry face, like wanted someone else. I'm like, oh, it's okay. If you want someone else, then, we can reschedule. I'm cool with that. And you're like, oh yeah, we'll just carry on then. And then after the booking, again, another kind of like rescheduling thing. So I knew they had someone else. I'm there like, okay. And it's a case of like, oh, you can like reschedule her. I'm like, mate, do you want your person? He's, oh no, you're fine. We can go over it. And it's just when you start seeing like things and evidence of like that, the realization of how the old me not believing and not doing, and now it's like it just feels like it's a thing. It just happens. It just rolls. It just yes, of how sometimes when we feel like what we're doing, those mundane, those boring, those things that are not what we think are like ideal, now starts for me, like thinking all those things, and then it's now the evidence of it is now coming to fruition. It's now showing up. It's now being, and yeah, it's so beautiful to see that full circle of something that one's doing and the evolution and yeah, that transition. It was truly a moment for me having to do that practice, going from not believing this is possible and just doing the practice, doing showing up, writing a thing and doing, and then having it to be a case of like, oh, and now what do I do? When I'm writing, I'm smiling, like, yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh. Next one, uh-huh, uh-huh. It's not a case of like, even if like, look, we're smiling writing this thing down. So yeah, it's such a beautiful yeah, moment and realization that for me, that was just such a beautiful thing for me at the time that, yeah, that just, yeah. I had, yes, a moment. Yes, of the realization. Oh, have you ever had something like that happen for you where you're doing the practice and all of a sudden it just drops in, it clicks in, and you're like you get it, you understand what's going on or whatever that is for you. Yeah, I'm Nene, and we do this every single day. Remember that your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Bye for now.